Well, folks, it seems like our former president, Donald J. Trump, just can't resist stirring the pot. He's been dropping hints about a potential third term, and let me tell you, it's got people talking. Now you might be thinking, didn't we already go through this? You're right, we did. Twice. Trump's never been one to shy away from defying norms, but the Constitution is a whole different ballgame. And the 22nd Amendment? Well, that's like the umpire yelling, "You're out of here," when it comes to presidential term limits. But that hasn't stopped Trump from toying with the idea, much to the delight of some of his most ardent supporters. The question is, are these just off-the-cuff remarks from a man who loves the spotlight, or is there a strategy behind this seemingly outlandish proposition? Buckle up, because we're about to dive into the constitutional weeds and explore the legal and political realities of a Trump third term. Spoiler alert, it's not looking good. It's not. The 22nd Amendment to the U.S. Constitution is pretty clear. It states that no person can be elected president more than twice. It's like the Constitution's way of saying, all right, we get it, you're popular, but it's time to share the Oval Office. This amendment was passed after Franklin Delano Roosevelt won an unprecedented 4 terms. People were concerned about the potential for abuse of power, so they decided to put a limit on how long someone could hold the most powerful office in the land. The 22nd Amendment is pretty straightforward. You get 2 terms max, no ifs, ands, or buts. Now, despite the crystal-clear language of the 22nd Amendment, some Trump supporters have come up with creative interpretations to justify a third term. One theory suggests that the amendment only applies to consecutive terms, so in their minds, Trump could sit out a term and then run again in 2028. Another theory posits that Trump could run for vice president and then assume the presidency if the elected president resigns. This scenario is about as likely as me winning an Olympic gold medal in synchronized swimming. It's convoluted, messy, and honestly a bit ridiculous. Let's be clear, legal experts agree that any attempt by Trump to run for a third term would be DOA, dead on arrival. Election officials and courts would likely shut it down faster than you can say, executive order. State officials have a history of removing ineligible candidates from ballots, and the 22nd Amendment is about as clear-cut a case of ineligibility as you can get. Sure, some states tried to use the 14th Amendment to keep Trump off the ballot in 2023, but the Supreme Court wasn't having it. But the 22nd Amendment, that's a whole different story. It's concise, unambiguous, and incredibly difficult to misinterpret. So why all the talk about a third term? Well, it's likely a strategic move by Trump to maintain his grip on the Republican Party and keep himself relevant in the political arena. By dangling the possibility of a comeback, he keeps his supporters engaged, energized, and most importantly, donating.